Hello friends. So today we will see the next concept in the protection chapter, that is access matrix. So this model of protection can be viewed abstractly as a matrix. Here we call it as access matrix. So the rows of access matrix represent domains and the column represents objects. So here each entry in the matrix consists of a set of access rights. So what kind of access rights we are having on a particular object by a process. So here as we can see in the diagram, the column defines the objects and the rows defines the domains. So the entry we can define here as access of ij defines the set of operations that a process executing in domain di can invoke on object oj. So to illustrate these concepts, we'll consider this figure as an access matrix. So here we are having 4 domains and 4 objects. So the objects are here F1, F2, F3, which are represented as files, and one printer we have here. And we have 4 domains, that is D1, D2, D3 and D4. So as you can see, the domains are represented in rows and the objects are represented as columns. So a process executing in domain D1 can read files F1 and F3. So here we have mentioned in the matrix the access rights what a process is having in domain D1 for file F1 and for file F3. So here the access right given is read operation. So a process executing in domain D4 has the same privileges as domain D1 as the process in domain D1, but with one extra operation here, that is write operation. So here as we can see in the diagram, D4 is having for F1 file read write operations can be performed, and for F3 also there are read write access rights given for this particular file. So here we are also having a printer as one object here. So here only the printer can be accessed by the process which is in domain D2. We also have the access matrix providing some mechanisms and policies here. So these mechanisms are specifying various policies. So the mechanisms consists of implementing the access matrix and ensuring that the meaning of this access matrix, whatever we are supposed to have here, the meaning of that will be hold here. And we must ensure here that a process executing in domain di can access only those objects specified in row I, and then only as allowed by the access matrix entries. Now for example, in previous figure we saw where we had for domain D1 and file F1 we had provided the read operation. So it must have only read operation on that file F1. Other than that it should not be permitted for other operations. So here we can also implement policy decisions concerned to protection. So the policy decisions involve which rights should be included in the ijth entry. So we are having rows and columns here. So what rights we are going to write here, that completely is decided by using the policy. So we must also decide the domain in which each process is executing, and here the users are normally deciding the contents of the access matrix entries. So whenever a user creates a new object oj, the column oj is added to the access matrix with the appropriate entry made into that particular column. So as the user is the creator, he is going to define the access rights into that matrix. So the user may decide to enter some rights in some entries in column J and other rights in other entries as it is required. So to continue with access matrix, so here we have to remember that if a process in domain Di tries to do any operation on object Oj, then operation must be in the access matrix. Yes. Now for example, Di will say D1, which is trying to read then object Oj, then it has to be written in the access matrix as read operation. So then only you can have access to that particular object here. And here further we are going to study various aspects, like we are going to study regarding dynamic protection and what all operations we are going to perform, like we can add the access rights, we can delete the access rights, and we do also have some special access rights, like we have owner rights, copy rights, and control and transfer rights, or we can call it as switch rights. So we'll see these one by one. So first one we will see is with switching. So whenever we switch a process from one domain to another, then we are doing this by performing switch operation on the object. So here the process should be able to switch from one domain to another domain. So how the switching can be performed here? So the switching from domain Di to domain Dj is allowed if and only if the access right switch belongs to access Ij. Now as you can see in the figure, it is in the slide, a process executing in domain D2 can switch to domain D3 or to domain D4, as we have written in the matrix as switch in that particular entry. And a process in domain D4 can switch to D1, or you can say one process in domain D1 can switch to D2. So here you can transfer the processes from one domain to another domain here by allowing the switching operation, or it can be also called as transfer operation, that is from one domain to another domain. And we can also allow the control change in contents of the access matrix entries, which are done by using the another three operations, that is copy, owner, and control. So those we are going to see further. So first we will see access matrix with copy rights. So here the ability to copy an access right from one domain, that is from one row of the access matrix to the another, is denoted by asterisk mark, or in the common language we call it as a star mark, which is appended to the access right. You can see in the slide in figure A and B, we are having a star mark with read and write operation in A figure, and same with B. So here the ability to copy an access right from one domain to another domain of access matrix, which is denoted by an asterisk mark. So here the copyright allows the access right to be copied only within the column for which the right is defined. That means you can't just shift it throughout the rows, you can just change it through among the same column here. So you can just consider an example by seeing the figure. So here a process executing in domain D2 can copy the read operation in any entry associated with file F2. So as you can see in figure A, D2 is performing read operation on F2 and it is marked by star. That means you can perform copy operation of this read operation into any associated column. That means in the same column concerned with only file 2, you can copy it into other domain. So here hence it can be modified to the access matrix which is shown in figure B. You can see in figure B the same read operation, it is copied into domain D3, but it is not having a star mark there. That means it cannot be further copied there. So that's it, you have just performed one time copy. Only domain D2 can perform the copy into the other domain. So this scheme is having two variations here. So one is a write is copied from access ij to access kj. So here you can consider access 2, that means domain 2 file 2, and it is copied into domain 3, that is domain 3 file 2. It is then removed from access ij. So here you are performing the transfer of a write rather than copy. Now for example, if you just move this read from D2 F2 to D3 F2 completely, then you are performing transfer operation here. But here what we are doing, we have D2 F2 read operation as it is, and you are also copying into D3 F2, right? So here what we are doing, we are just propagating this copy write, that is we are just propagating this read operation into the other domain. So this operation is called as here copying the writes from one domain to another domain. So here we also need some mechanisms to allow some addition of new writes or removal of writes from the rows. So that we are going to see here. So here who can do this, who can add the new access rights and who can remove the rights here? It can be done only by the owner. So that is we are going to see through this, that is access matrix with owner rights. So the owner right controls these operations here. So if the access ij includes the owner right, then the process executing in domain di can add and remove any right in any entry in column j. So example we'll consider here is, you can see here the figure A. So domain D1 is owner of F1. You can see we have written the access right as owner and also execute, right? So here D1 is the owner of F1, and thus D1 can add and delete any valid right in column F1. So he can just perform any addition or deletion of rights in this column, that is for particular file F1. So similarly, D2 is the owner of F2 file and F3 file, and thus can add and remove any valid right within these two columns. So thus the access matrix which can be modified as shown in figure B. Here you can see the copy and owner rights allow the process to change the entries in the column. Now here we have changed the entries in the column. Now for example, in figure B, D3 has lost the rights to execute the file F1. So as a owner, D1 has removed that right from D3, and D2 as a owner for file F2 and F3, he has added one more operation, that is write operation, which can be copied to other domain. Yes, as it is marked with star. So here D2 has added write operation into file F2, that is for domain D2 and domain D3, and same for file F3. Here it has added one more operation write for domain D3. So this is what owner can perform here. Owner can add few entries or remove few entries from the access matrix. So the next one we will see here is the control right. So now what we saw how a copy operation and how owner can add or delete the entries in the access matrix. And copy operation and the owner operation, that is add and delete operation, were done only in the column. We were not supposed to do row wise. Yes. So here we will also see the another mechanism which is also needed to change the entries in a row. So we just now saw the entries which were changed in the column, but now we will see the changes that we can make to the entries in a row. So this is done by control right. So here the control right is applicable only to the domain objects. So if access ij includes the control right, then a process executing in domain di can remove any access right from row J. So example, we'll consider the figure here. Suppose that we include the control right in access D2, D4. You can see D2, D4 with the switch. We also have one more right given there, that is control. Then a process executing in domain D2 could modify domain D4 here. Now, for example, the process can modify domain D4 as and it is needed. Now, for example, we had considered the switch example in the previous slides. So the same way here you can also have control operation. So this domain D2 can have control over D4 domain. So it can just modify any kind of operations in that particular row. So this is called as control rights. So friends, we discussed about access matrix in this lecture. So in future lecture, we will see how we are going to implement this access matrix and what do we mean by access control. Thank you.